My friends, hello and welcome back to the Perfect Dark Year in Review 2020 bonus SpeedLore episode. We left off last night about halfway through into this year in review, largely dominated by Perfect Ace, as many who followed the game over the year would know, and of course with a few other people, of course, putting their names out there and contributing to the game in meaningful ways. Now, Perfect Ace, of course, got, more than 20 Untieds last year, which is very, very insane. And we have many more of these Untieds to get to, and we're basically going to get right into it. I left off, I wanted to make it through January to June last night. We pretty much did, except for one full Untied sweep that we didn't get to. And so that's what I'm going to show right away here. So, insanely. And it is insane that, he got so many Untieds we can basically gloss over an Untied sweep. But in a matter of 5 days, on the Mr. Blonde Revenge stage, Ace got an Untied sweep. This is a very interesting level because it's kind of complicated in that in 2014, I believe it was, 2015? In 2015, there was a huge strategy discovery, like one of the biggest gold rushes in Perfect Dark history. Even I was able to nab 2 Untieds that night. It was like a 15-20 second time saver. I think it ended up being like almost 30 seconds on each difficulty. Like a huge, unbelievable time saver that like you can't even fathom would ever be possible, right? But what ends up happening, and we've actually seen something very, very interesting happen, similar in Mario Kart 64. There was a huge new discovery on Rainbow Road. Everyone rushed to play it, and then the world records have kind of stagnated from there. And in the case of Rainbow Road, it's only been, 3 or 4 months since this huge rush, a week or two of mad playing, and then stagnation. But in Mr. Blonde's Revenge, it was actually 5 years of stagnation, believe it or not. So Mr. Blonde's Revenge, the records were like 119, 122, 124. Something like that, right? 119, yeah. 119, 122, 124. And then at the end of it all, the records were 54, 54, 101. So we're talking 20 to 25 seconds cut on each difficulty. Absolute madness. And you will pick up on exactly what's happening in here as we watch a run. Of course, Perfect Ace showed up to the game this year. He had never played Mr. Blonde's Revenge with the new strategy. So, new strategy, Perfect Ace playing for the first time ever. What do we think happens? Of course, an Untied sweep happens because he sees the game differently, finds places to save time. So we're going to start out with his Mr. Blonde Agent 53 agent, untying the record of 54. There is an elevator on a closed cycle for the first, 20-ish seconds. You get in the elevator as fast as you can. Really well done. Uncloak. But, you couldn't do this any faster. There's no faster way to do this here. And then he's going to get out. So 27 seconds. So the level's really only 25 seconds long. Opens the door as soon as he can. Looking down, getting into the lift as soon as he can. You have to take this lift up to this room. That's very interesting, Cal. You drop a bomb spy over here, blows up this wall. Now this is the new strat. In the olden days, you had to push Cassandra up the building naturally. But in this day and age, you push her into this room, and you skip her speech, which is tough, and you get her to climb a ladder. And I'm going to pause it here because you would get her to climb that ladder and she would complete an objective. It's really actually fascinating because the game is only checking to see if she is a certain height, something like that. And so when she climbs the ladder, she ends up warping to the roof, and it meets that height, and her objective completes. It's escort her to the roof of the building. And normally you would get her up the ladder, and then you would just run up to the top of the building. That was the first iteration of the strategy. But within like a couple days, it was discovered that like you could then just clip out of the building and land on the bottom of the building and detonate a bomb that was planted there, and this would bring the mission to an end, which is like really, it's really kind of complicated, all the checks that are going on in the game, way more than we can get into tonight. But certainly if there is ever a Mr. Blonde Revenge speedlore, we will get into that. And yeah, you'll kind of notice that he even slid between a crack in the wall, and that was so he was out of bounds, so he wouldn't pass away in the detonation of that bomb, which is pretty remarkable. And yeah, 53, obviously, look, if you're seeing that for the first time, you have no idea how the level's played. It's mysterious to you, and unfortunately it's going to stay that way because, again, someday there will be a full-on Mr. Blonde Revenge speedlore, but that day is not today. Carrying on, 3 days later, he played Special Agent. There is one different objective here. You have to go and place a bomb in... oh, no, that's a Perfect Agent objective. Okay, so no big deal. There is a different objective, I just forgot what it is. I think he might have to shoot out an elevator, or... I'm gonna find out in a second, I guess. Is it any different at all, Special Agent? It must be... Oh, okay, that makes sense. Ah, yes, that makes... Okay, so we're gonna see a difference at the very end. Yes. Yeah, so in the past what you have to do is, before going to lift, you would have to go plant the bomb in a basement area of the level. And it was only a couple seconds slower than Agent because you could make the lift on the same cycle, basically, as you would on Agent. But now, with this new strategy, you can plant that bomb as you're falling at the very end. And yeah, Ace, like, is just, if you were to watch the 54s and 55s, Ace is just eking out every frame, every optimization possible, every door, every lift press, he's just doing exactly what needs to be done. So, yeah, and the bomb is very forgiving. You just have to kind of land on the lift and it kind of plants itself. You don't have to, like, really throw it or anything, which is kind of cool. I was going to shoot it. He pauses to try to get rid of the leg spike and land in between the crack. And he does. Mr. Blonde Revenge, Special Agent 53. Yeah, what was that? That was, okay, so yeah, 54 was untied by Boss. Within a month of the new strategy being discovered, Boss had 54 untied. And eventually MW did tie it in 2019, so very good stuff from MW. He tied the Agent record as well, and 00, or Perfect Agent later on. But, of course, they are no match for Ace coming in and trying to level out for the first time in his career and just nailing it. I believe what's interesting, actually, is, you know, Ace has been playing this game for 15 years, 16 years. He's gotten world records on almost every stage in the game. But in the 2010 era, 2012, 2006, Ace never had a record on Mr. Blonde's Revenge at all, period. It was a level dominated solely by Boss and an old French-Canadian player, Lek. They kind of would go back and forth with their untieds. They did it a couple times, a couple untied sweeps back in the mid-2000s. So Ace never had a share of the record on Mr. Blonde's Revenge until this year, and that's very interesting. Yeah, it used to be it's true, Alchemaz, because, you know what, I'll quickly show an old strat, just to get a brief moment of it, just to give you an idea of what had to be done. So this is like an old Boss record. Oh, I love it, it's a vintage CRT capture as well. So when you got to Cassandra up here, what you had to do is you had to push her upstairs, and she would always want to be spinning around on you, out of the way, and running away from you. So it was very, very hard to optimize. And that's why it was like, Boss was really good at it, and so was this Lek gentleman. And that's why they were able to have the world records on the stage, and it was very uncommon for other people to have world records on the stage, because they weren't the masters of pushing Cassandra up the stairs. But of course, let's And so, yeah, the new strat clearly skips all that by pushing her up to a ladder instead, and she just zoops up the ladder. Now, on Perfect Agent, you have to get in a duel with one of Cassandra's bodyguards in the elevator across from you. And if you were playing casually, you might wait for the elevator to, you know, be parallel to you, and you shoot across and get an easy shot. But for a world record strategy, you're going to shoot, like, before you can even see her come into view at all. So, sniped. Security chief has been eliminated. There you go. And then the elevator starts going up again. And that's the time difference. That's the 6-second time difference, because your elevator slows down. You can see Ace punching away there because he's bored. Yeah, just the way he gets through those lifts seems so good. Yeah, no, it's super annoying. I mean, obviously he makes it look super easy. You can imagine, try hitting that shot. You might not hit it in 50 attempts. But, of course, Ace does. Ace does. Go to the helipad. And you're playing as Mr. Blonde, who is actually a Skedar alien in disguise as a human. He goes, you know, land on the bomb and pass it away. And a 1-minute time. That is a new untied world record. Ace would tie 54-54-101 before getting the untied sweep, but, you know, it only took a couple days later for him to actually get the untied sweep. Oh, you know what? Actually, he didn't tie 101. He skipped right to 1 minute. There you go. Perfect Ace. Being Perfect Ace. What more is there to say? Is there anything more to say? I think not. So, there we go. Ace, the only player good enough to cake untied sweeps in such frequency that we have to gloss over them in the Year in Review SpeedLore stream. Well, Ace will get another untied. Believe it or not, I think at this point we can all believe it. Airbase Perfect Agent, I think on this level, I think a couple days before this untied, I made a post, and it was like, hey, why is Airbase 202 still the record? Like, it's kind of getting old now, guys. Like, and it feels like there's been no new strategy innovations since, like, 2006. It feels like we've been playing it the same way since 2006. The record was 206. You know, a couple seconds of optimization, but no new strat. And I guess Ace, I actually suggested a new strat that Ace didn't end up using. It didn't matter because he would go on to get the untied anyways. This is Airbase Perfect Agent 201. Let's take a look. We will show more of Airbase as the night progresses, but yeah, there's stuff to note, certainly. You almost always pass away on this level. Yes, that's exactly, that's a good way to put it, JD Black. Like, I remember joining the community in 2005, and like by 06, 206 had become like the LSU, the longest standing untied in Perfect Dark. And like, nothing new's been found. I'm like, really, guys? Yeah, and that is a fascinating thing too, Cal. It's like, so, a bit of a back boost there. You gotta put on the disguise as you enter the base, so that way they don't get mad and like set an alarm. You come in here, you gotta put your suitcase on a conveyor belt. Okay. Then you go... So you have to press B over here on a console. Now, there's glass back there. You could break the glass from below with a bomb, and then escape that room through the glass. That's what we do on Secret Agent. That's what I suggested Ace do, but it seems difficult to survive, and it's already a hard to survive level. So that's why he opted not to do it. But it is a possible strategy. It is possibly out there. This room is chaos. You have to snipe that mine, which he did. It's a pre-planted mine. Then you have to like awkwardly climb into this room, press that button, open the safe, awkwardly climb out. Guards are almost always gonna like bother you here. That was honestly so good. Now Paracuse is saying that he had a slow climb, believe it or not. The climbing is always kind of random in the game. We see random climbing in Chicago as well. Yeah, guards control you by climbing the lift back up. Yeah. But his movement into that room was so good. Like, he... 201 point, like... What was the decimal? 0.21! Oh my god, dude. Unbelievable. Let's see. I'm gonna skip ahead to a record later on. But, like, basically, on airbase, what you could do... See, in this same zone, what you do is you take damage off an explosion of a Super Dragon weapon. You warp up the stairs with the Cam Spy, and then you can just jump off where you broke the glass. Ace didn't do that on Perfect Agent. No one has done on Perfect Agent. But that is out there. It's maybe viable. It could maybe save 2 or 3 seconds, honestly. So, yeah, the Dragon's secondary function, proxy mine. See, like, you have to backtrack a little bit. That would alone save 1 or 2 seconds. And so no one's been able to pull that off yet on Perfect Agent, but it is out there. And yeah, this... Usually there's 1 or 2 guards here. The one guard kind of ran past him. And then he shoots this mine out so cleanly. And those guards are always going to be a pain to you. They can basically pass you away on... with 1 clip. You know, in GoldenEye, you're never going to get hit more than like 3 times by a single guard's burst of ammo. But in this game, they can just straight up pass you away with 1 clip. Oh yeah, and the disguise is located... the location of the disguise stewardess is completely random. I mean, not completely random. There's 2 locations she can be. But obviously, Paracuse is saying that she's often in the further location 2 out of 3 times. She's in the close location there. So, there you go. That is the story about Airbase. Yeah, full health to passed away in under a second, as Wexy Lever says. It is interesting Airbase because, like was noted, Ace lowered from 202 to 201. Polly and BK got 202, and it's kind of surprising to me that they didn't go for 201, because, like, they could have. You know, maybe they did and I don't know. But yeah, you can see Ace got this on July 6th. On July 9th, BK got 202. On July 8th, Paulie got 202. I kind of wonder why they didn't, like, push it the 1 extra second lower. Maybe they tried and it was difficult and they moved on to something else. But I do kind of wonder what exactly went into their decision there. Well, of course, only a few more days would pass. Only a few more days. 3 days, to be precise. And Ace would say, "Hello, I wish to play Rescue Agent." We got a music vid here.
The problem you have is that there is no way to sneak into the research section. The only way in available to you is a weak section of wall.
The record was 124, set in 2014 by Clem. Tied by Ace, Carl, and Lake Demon. He shoots to generate lag to warp the crack very well. Yeah, it's really the first time that the new Twitch era players ever saw Ace's like true domination of caking, well, like, they heard the stories in SpeedLore and so on. It was the first time they actually saw it. So, that scientist with the disguise is kind of random. He can be way up the hill, he can be far away. Ace got a very lucky scientist, but he converted it very quickly as well. You know, many people would have choked getting a very fast scientist lab disguise. But of course it's Ace, he nails it.
Come here.
And it was a 1:23:46, which is insane. You know, it's madness. Yeah, so in this room, you eliminate that scientist. You have to hope he drops the key in a good location. He can throw it like a mile away. Like, he could throw it like near that door in the back of this autopsy area. He throws it very close to the front of the area. So that's a huge help. And that's also luck-based. But again, it's not like that luck happened, oh, it's a free record now. Like, no, he has to nail all this technical movement, door openings, door presses, elevator warps. He has to nail this shot on that guard. He has to get a decent key drop there as well. You know, so it's just Ace being Ace. And if you thought we were done with Ace, yeah, we're not. A week later, he would turn his attention to Extraction Perfect Agent. If you were here last night, you'll remember me telling the story about Extraction Perfect Agent and how the record was 127 by Greenunet. A very nice untied by Greenunet when he got it. Ace would pull off a strategy for the first time ever, which saved 5 seconds. You have to make a very, very tight door cycle that no one ever made before on Perfect Agent. I think Boss did, but like it was on a slower run. Basically, no one's ever made before. And Ace managed to pull it off and get a 5-second untied. On that run, however, I showed last night, he kind of got stuck on Cassandra at the very end. So one might think, okay, I could maybe cut another second off. You know, maybe he could get 121. That would be a 6-second untied. Again, remember, second place now is 127. Let's see what Ace can do on Extraction Perfect Agent. Really nice headshots. Really nice lift entry. So here's the door. Opens the door.
I see her.
Opens the door. He's gonna have to take out the bodyguards. And press B on that computer. Let's see if he makes the cycle.
That copter needs to be taken out, or the jump shut down.
Unbelievable cycle. Like, you can see how this is Ace playing, and he's barely making the cycle by the skin of his teeth, you know? Two shots on that guard. There is another bodyguard here. Oh, he's got them both. Took like 5 shots total. 4 or 5. Up the stairs.
That's not allowed to lay my gun.
He's got the RL.
We meet him. There you go.
Nice headshot. Really missed that headshot. I mean, missing a headshot's like 0.1 or less. You know, not a big deal. Missed 2 there. Wow, insane. Shotgun. Oh, he's ahead of Cassandra. Where he got stuck last time. This is the run. This is the run, lads.
Understood.
Insane shot. You have to. That is so hard to clutch out. 119 in 8-second untied. In 8-second untied on the level. Yes, very remarkable. Yeah, what's his other 8-second untied? Because I was thinking escape, perfect agent, but I think it's 5 seconds. So, or rather rescue perfect agent, but that's 5 seconds. Yeah, pelagic 2. That's right, pelagic 2. Yeah, so Ace has 2 8-second untieds in the game. Yep. I don't even have an analogy for that. It's unanalogous. Well, Ace would, of course, only days later turn his attention to yet another stage. Oh, it was 1 day later. 1 day later, Ace would play Escape Agent. The record on Escape Agent is... It's actually a cool level. So Carl untied it with 220 in 2016. Mark Rutsu tied it first, one of the rare Mark Rutsu Perfect Dark records. And then Lake Demon and Ace would match it as well. But Ace thought, I can push it 1 more second. Let's push it 1 more second. It's a good level. I imagine he's going to push John a lot, maybe? Or get a really good Elvis ending.
Grave danger. They flooded the area with nerve gas. Get a friend to the containment lab.
Not in
There's a hiding
these
place
runs,
there.
meaty, because these are going to be on NTSC, where his
Contact you when you
cartridge
get there.
saves.
Good luck.
See.
Only on his PAL runs do you have to do
Good
that.
luck, Joe. We need to meet up. They're getting suspicious of me.
And like you play PAL on Attack Ship and Deep Sea.
Hurry.
Confirmed. Can't talk up with Jonathan before he gets down.
So, really good boosting.
Joanna.
So got Jonathan here. He's almost passed away in health. It is Agent though, so you can probably survive a few more hits.
Friend. Right, we're near. Cover me, Joe.
Okay. Oh, is he gonna go for the shield? Yeah, it looks like it. So you go for the shield. This allows you again to blow through the wall as soon as you can. Like Jonathan takes a few seconds, like 30 whatever seconds, to blow a hole in the wall. But the moment he's like about to stand back and blow the hole in the wall, then you can just blow it early and get through. So that's what he's gonna do here.
Okay, stand back.
Ace is through. He's got Elvis. And now you have to manipulate these NPCs very, very well to the ending of the... Oh yeah, you can self-boost at the end, that's right as well, yeah. That's correct. We'll see that come up in a bit. But you gotta push Elvis. Elvis can... Any frame, Elvis can decide to spin around randomly. It's really annoying and frustrating. If you play this level, you will get upset multiple times at this point in the level. But he's got a clean Elvis run around the corner. Then, here we go. Elvis is gonna see his UFO and speak about it.
Problem.
Well, the pause in Perfect Dark doesn't add time, but it also takes no time to go into the pause. The only negative about pausing on Perfect Dark is you lose full speed. So you don't want to do it if you're running at full
The
strafe.
only way out of here.
Well, at these points in time, when you're like moving an NPC, you're not moving full speed, it's completely fine to
You're
pause.
the only one who can
You're not
fly
going to lose
Elvis, so
anything.
get in.
One of us will have to stay behind and open the hangar doors.
But we can't leave you behind. There must
You
be a
can't
way
leave
out
until that
here.
voice cue. Then you gotta go press these two consoles. Yeah, that's a good way to put a B down. So Ace got to Escape Agent 219, a new untitled record. And this was his, let's do the math. 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24. His 24th Untied of the year. And it is July 17, 2020. Now, I will tell you, believe it or not, after getting 24 Untieds in 6.5 months, he would only get one more Untied in 2020. And we won't get to it quite yet. But there is one more Ace Untied to get to. But for now, we're going to have a bit of a break from Ace and tell the story of Zella. Of course, the one day I do SpeedLore, Joris Quevedo, shoutouts to our SpeedLore co-researcher, decided to troll Zella on the rankings by renaming him Xylophone, just to troll him in the Year in Review stream, I suppose. So, as we can see, Zella started playing the game in May 2020. In less than a year, he's already found his way to 5th place in the game. This is a meteoric rise up the rankings. Obviously, he spent a lot of time playing the game. Maybe every day for hours and hours and hours. But hey, if there was a year to do that where not much was going on and staying inside and staying home was a recommendation, it would be this year. And that's what Zella did. Yeah, 40 hours a day, I've heard. Zella not only got to 5th place, he also got a few Untieds. His first Untied was Deep Sea Perfect Agent 301. I don't know what to expect here. Yeah, I believe 302 was actually untied by 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Three. 4. Jez lowered his own untied. You have to headshot these guards. What motivated Zella to play this level? I don't know. I do like Zella's background, the kind of green and red scanning. Looks like a Zelda-ish background. It's a fun level, okay. You have to shoot out these, like, lanterns. Elvis follows you behind. He can get distracted by, like, shooting guards and stuff. So you want to get a good Elvis. He's already in there. That's a really good Elvis. And now you carry on your merry way. There he is. He's out the warp zone. Elvis is there. Opens the door. He's probably gonna shoot out some, like, canisters or something in a moment. Or, yeah, they're kind of, yeah, they're... So he's just basically memorized exactly where they are and just firing at them. Nailing 4 shots there. He's gonna hit a few more for the objective coming up. There's one from super far away. The far side you can shoot, like, through walls from very far away. That was a new strat, eh? Very interesting. I don't know what the old strat was, so we'll see. Shooting 2 canisters at once? Are you kidding me, dude? Oh my god. The mad lad. It looked like there was one more to hit over here. But maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, there we go. Objective 2 complete. Warps here. Yeah, you have to go into this room now. Ooh, wow, that look, he got kind of trolled by that blonde guard running away. That was pretty troll. Okay, he's strafing around. And I was just gonna strafe to the end. Ooh, that door being opened is a big deal, I think. But the guard back boosted him and almost passed him away. Is that door usually open? I can't think so. Yeah, very rare. 301.4. 3 billion BPM was his heart rate. Yeah, the background gives me like kind of like Majora's Mask vibes, or like Ocarina of Time in the Sacred Realm. Deep Sea Agent 301. Look, he is very good at the level. 301. I kind of am inclined to believe that 301. Like, what's second place in the level? Okay, second. Yeah, of course, 302. Jez had 302 as an untied. But Zella decided he wanted more. And so he would play for lower. He commented about 301. Big thanks to everyone who has supported my progress so far in these games. Keep in mind, he's been playing for 3 months. He's already getting untieds after 3 months. Especially Randy, Ace, Dusky, Eric P. Might not be still playing these games if it wasn't for you guys. I kind of joke because it's like, oh, I'm still playing for 3 months. At the same time, if you're not having fun in the community, you're probably not going to still play, right? So I wouldn't even have started if it wasn't for Irie. Shoutouts to Tyler D as well. Thanks to my 2 dads, Pollywood and Dr. Light. Very nice story. But, yeah, you go for lower. And later that month, let's see what he would do. We'll watch the in-game sound version this time and see if we can understand, demystify anything else. Really nice headshots. Nice shot. Nice headshot. Nice headshots. Like, basically, you have the shotgun set to double blast mode. So you press Z and it shoots boom boom twice. To hit 2 guards with the double blast is like really epic. So the time lost on these headshots doesn't matter all that much because he has to get to a control room in a little bit, in 20 seconds or so, and then Elvis has to like meet him in there. And it is random. Like, Elvis's speed is like very random on this level. If you're, let's say you were a new player going for like 310 or better, you'd be willing to accept an Elvis who's, you know, 3, 4, 5 seconds slower than a world record pace, you would play it out and see if you could PB still. But obviously for world record, there's Elvis. See, Elvis is kind of taking his time, shooting guards. You don't really want that. But still, it worked out for him on this run. There, Elvis is at 55. A 55 Elvis, that's really good. And then Elvis is gonna... You have to go into that room to, like, tell Elvis, hey, come in this room. And then he'll, you know, seek that room. Once he's in that room, he'll go take care of himself and hack a computer. Kind of like Natalia-style stuff. And then their Objective 1 complete.
This will help us to get around.
Objective 1 completes right about the time you hit the warp. This level, called Deep Sea, is actually taking place on what is like a deep sea research vessel at the bottom of the ocean. Something like that. So there's a canister. He just knows that's the location of the canister. 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 Are there mini scatter running around? It's an ancient alien spaceship at the bottom of the ocean. That's right. That's right. There are a lot of sci-fi theories about aliens living at the bottom of the ocean and so on. And so this plays into that. Again, he missed the Mr. Blonde. He didn't fully pass away one, but it's okay. You just have to get to the computer. And now something epic is going to happen at the very end here. So this door isn't open. But he gets a huge super boost. Okay, Elvis gets the two, that's right. It's a huge super boost. 259.66. It probably would have been 3 minutes without that insane super boost. Wow, 259. Unbelievable. Is lower possible? Is lower maybe gonna happen? I gotta think it might barely be, but I mean it's hard to believe he cut 3 seconds off of Jez's infamous record. 3:02, which was a 4-second untie when he got it. Pretty insane. Wow, 2:57, everything went right. 2:55 as a somewhere over the rainbow time. Very impressive. Well, we're going to get to another Zella run here. So, Escape Special Agent 308 is a record, which is, there is a bit of a backstory to it. We're getting a bit out of sequence here in the timeline. He got this in November. But there was a gentleman in the community who got this as an untied 308. But he decided he no longer wanted to be in the community. And this is something we have seen over the years. Someone wants to leave, they want to remove their records, they want to remove their scores. And it is kind of like an interesting, I guess, moral debate. Right? Should you keep them there? Should you not keep them there? But it was one of those situations where I guess we eventually decided, you know what? If someone wants to leave and they're fully set on that decision, and it's not like a rash decision, you know? Oftentimes it's an angsty young guy who's just fed up with his life and doesn't want to keep speedrunning anymore. And it's kind of a rash decision. You say, you know what? Just cool your head. You'll want to be back. But this was kind of a more thought out over time decision. And so the 308 Escape Special Agent was removed from the rankings. And Zella decided, you know what? Let's go out there and try to restore the 308 to the rankings. This same departed gentleman got a 310 on Perfect Agent. That's been removed. It's not been replaced yet, the 310. Remember, we watched Ace's 312 yesterday. So 310 is still out there for someone to re-obtain. But Zella did manage to get 308. And yeah, it's cool. Cool for him to get that. And let's take a look. Let's take a look. Who will get the 310 Perfect Agent?
What the hell do you think?
We don't know, but
Joanna, this is Jonathan.
yeah, the Escape Special and Perfect Agent are really, really interesting because
Nerve gas. Get a friend to the containment lab.
Jonathan, you have to rendezvous with, and then, you know, get him to detonate the wall. He's much further away,
Good work, Joe.
so there's all sorts of,
They're getting suspicious of me. Use the maintenance hatch I've opened in one of the containment labs.
there's all sorts of strategies to push him a very far distance, as we're going to see in a moment here. Maybe we'll watch the music vid at the very end of the stream. You know, there's only so much muting and song replacements that I want to do for YouTube, you know? It's the way it is. Here we go, check this out. Xylophone is a name that was given to him tonight for tonight only, for no reason other than Joris being a troll. So I don't believe Zella plays Overwatch as under Xylophone.
A friend.
But look at this John pushing. It's absolutely brilliant. The first time I saw a run with this John pushing, my jaw dropped. Literally dropped, because the records were like, Boss had like 314, 315 back in the day, which were considered very decent. And there was no John pushing. You let him kind of follow you through the building to this point, and then you pushed him. Because it's a straight wall, it's much easier to push him on a straight wall. But to push him through like a very jagged wall is exactly. It's something that everyone has tried because it's such an intuitively obvious strategy, you know? And you try it and you realize just how difficult it is. You realize why, oh, no one does it in the world record, because it's so hard. But in the past couple years, the Perfect Dark guys have figured out how to make it doable, and it's really quite remarkable. Yeah, they really are much goofier than GoldenEye's, and like, even to me, they're somewhat mystified still at this point. And of course, when we do start the full SpeedLore series in Perfect Dark, we will try to demystify these. But, wow, so I didn't know that Wexy Lever has duped this 7 times. It's kind of insane. So you have to go down here, you have to administer a med pack to Elvis, and then you have to eliminate one guard who's either back there or up the next, like, ramp. And so he eliminated it, like, right as he entered the room. Like, that alone might have saved, like, 5 seconds over the old method, you know? If you watched Ace had to run up the ramp and chuck a mine to get rid of a guard and trigger the med pack sequence. Oh, look, Elvis trolled him. This could have happened on Agent. Unbelievable. Elvis trolled him significantly. That cost a second. That legit cost a full second, I would say. Yeah, that med pack early strat. And now, a very same ending as Agent.
You know that.
One of us will have to stay.
Yeah, it is. It's very inconsistent stuff. Very even the Perfect Dark guys don't like fully.
But we can't leave you behind. There must be a way out of
Like,
here.
if it doesn't work, you might not understand why. It seems like it should have worked. It's one of those kind of things. And that's probably why, 308 Special Agent, amazing. Great job by Zella to restore that record to the rankings. And, but yeah, Perfect Agent 310 is still out there for the taking. Known to be possible. It has been achieved by someone who departed the community. And this strategy is really tough, really inconsistent. That's why it hasn't re-happened. So that was a cool look into the world of Zella for us. Amazing. He hasn't even been playing the game for a full year. It's been like 8 months, and we have 3 untieds to show of his in the year in review. I mean, that's pretty impressive. There are guys who go their entire career without getting 3 untieds. So amazing, amazing stuff. But at this point, there are actually 6 more untieds left in the year from 4 unique players. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see some new characters introduced here. But there's one more record to get back to by Perfect Ace. On August 18th, 2020, he would achieve what would be his final untied of the year. Villa Agent 1 minute. Again, the strategy on Villa Agent, which was discovered in 2019, was a clip through a wall, which saved about 6 seconds. The old world record was 1:06. It takes an insanely precise ending, having to eliminate 9 guards super fast to get a key, unlocking the last door of the level. So insane to pull off. Only the best of the best would get 1:06. It was like, I want to say by memory, it was like Ace, Mark, Carl, and Boss are the guys I want to say had Villa 1:06. And maybe one of the Japanese players as well. And let's see here. Ace, Clemens, Cedric, Carl, and Mark. So really, really amazing guys, players, the best of the best. And so imagine getting a really, really perfect world record, like the best of the best style record, but also further complicating it by having a clip through a wall that's like inconsistent to pull off. But Ace would go for it, and indeed, that's what he would do. Those were insane.
Negotiator.
Yeah, truly unbelievable. If you miss a single one of these guards, the run's over. And he actually misses that one, but he gets it on the comeback. You see? And then you have to like quickly triple switch your weapon to reload, and then like fire 2 bullets at each of these guards. So you have enough ammo, you don't have to reload again. It's so insane, dude. A godly run. I actually commented on this run. See? The comeback elimination on the first basement guard is vintage Ace. Only Ace could keep his awareness and composure to finish off that guard and still clutch out the run. Many lesser speedrunners would have just quit out. It's these little things that add up over the course of thousands of runs and elevate Ace above the rest. I mean, we can just see so many people are like, unbelievable record. And yeah, Ace would actually say that. Ace's where's, oh, I gotta pull up his comment. It's a good one. He says, finally, I spent a while on this back in February. I came close several times, 4 101s, several 1-minute paces that I lost in the basement, including multiple to only the second shelf guard. Wow, that's kind of insane. Pretty good. Barring a new trick, I don't see this time going any lower. With this, I am calling it a year. The year of perfect aces, 25 untied world records. Unbelievable. Mind you, 21 are still untied. 21 are still untied. We can see it's a little bit of a tease. I spoke about how he got all 20 agent records at some point. He's now down to 17. So that shows that we're going to have to see 3 agent untieds coming up. That's a lot. That's quite interesting. But hey, we will get to those 3 agent untied. So just marvelous stuff from Perfect Ace. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. What can you say? So I'm going to take another quick break here. I'm going to show a DLTK run. Again, this is Pollywood. He had a great year in DLTK. This is his Defense DLTK 137. Defense had no untieds on it this year, so I actually am not showing any Defense videos. But we'll get a taste of Defense here from Pollywood's DLTK 137. So let's take a look.
Already, John? We can't get the main delegation.
Joanna, we're under attack! Get the guns back online! Hurry!
The auto defenses will really help me out.
We've got a contact! The skipper's taking fire! Save them!
Received. I'll have to go carefully. The hostages are counting on me.
Working on a new weapon, which may be useful.
I've got a...
My office. If they get access, get there first, Joe, and destroy the files.
Understood.
Things are desperate. They've planted a bomb. Find it and get it out of the building.
Received.
Come here.
Well done, Joanna. We're nearly clear. The last dropship is waiting for you.
Wow, amazing run from Pollywood 137. Dark License to Kill. Yeah, it's really, I mean, it's insane challenge mode. This is a 1 second untied over. Boss had 1 second slower from 2017. So yeah, it's cool to see Polly go in there and grind hard. And look, a lot of there's heavy competition on Dark License to Kill and License to Kill. And I mean, I don't follow it as closely as I follow the main ranks. So I'm sure there's some wild stuff, and I think in due time we will get into all that's going on there. So very, very epic stuff. Okay, now we are going to get into August 30th onwards. So there's 6 more untieds. We have a couple more runs to show than that. But that's going to be what we show next, 6 more untieds from 4 different players. And these are, well, especially some newer players, and some players who have some of their first career untieds, which is always cool to see. So the next level we're going to go to is a level called Crash Site. Honestly, one of my favorite levels in the game, and one of the favorite levels of Flicker Form, a fellow Canadian. And if you know it or not, this level actually takes place in Canada on Victoria Island. I made a thread about it a while ago. Perfect Dark has all these cool menus and options, and you can go in one and see like the exact location of all the levels, and it has like coordinates on the map for this level, and it's on, I think it's Victoria Island, which is a nearly uninhabited island in the far north of Canada. I think it has 2 settlements on it. Yeah, 2,000 people live on this island, 210,000 square kilometers. It's like bigger than most countries, and it has 2,000 people. And so it's the perfect setting for, there's my mini Victoria Island lore. There is my, it's the perfect setting for Crash Site. What happens on Crash Site is that you're on Air Force One and it crashes as as you're heading to like Norway, I believe it is. Yeah. And now you're abandoned in the Arctic, and you have to save the president, of course. Okay, yeah, I found the thread. It's cool. It's a cool thread. It's like, you can see that screen tells you the information, locations, 71 degrees north, 118 west. There is the island. It's, it's a big island. It's way up there. It's literally further. Imagine driving from Texas to Minnesota and then driving that same distance again. It's like further than that north. That's how far it is. Anyways, I love my little, what do you call them when you get off track? Anyways, Flicker Form. He likes the stage a lot. It's a cool stage. He actually got tangent. Yeah, I guess tangent is close. He likes to say he had the perfect agent untied in 2019. He got it in a mini horde video. He got the untied perfect agent. There was a really wild strat in perfect agent. We might get into it a bit later, actually. 114 was the record on Crash Site Agent. I remember back in the day when this guy, Funky Buddha, got the untieds, 115. And then, yes, Cedric got 114 untied, and it was untied for 6.5 years. One of the longest standing untieds in the game's history, which is like really epic, honestly. But then after, as time started rolling by, more and more people would match that 114. It's actually the 5th longest standing untied ever in the game. You know, we're just going tangent after tangent here. We can see that Cedric 114 crash site agent, 2,400 days before it was finally tied. Unbelievable. But it got tied, and then I guess we're 10 years later. I guess it's not super surprising that something new would be found that could help get 113, and it was. Pay close attention to... Actually, you know what? I'm going to show the first, like, couple seconds of that 114 by Cedric. Let's show the first couple seconds. So you start the level. This is Cedric's 114 from 2011. You run to this hover bike, you get on, and then you take the hover bike away. What was discovered, it's cool, was this. This is flicker form crash site agent. You throw the mine, you detonate the mine, and it pushes the hover bike closer to you. Like, in a way, an obvious strat, but also so unobvious. Genius. You have 3 mines. You need one to throw it to eliminate the presidential clone. It's kind of interesting. There we go. You throw 1 mine there, and then you throw the second mine, the third mine there. Yes, it was a long theorized strategy, and it took a while to figure out how to save time with it, but it basically saved the time needed for 113. This is tricky as well. Like, the speed at which the president comes out of here is pretty random-ish. Oh, good call detonating then. And then the president runs, and then you kind of push him at the tail end. It's a really complicated ending.
He'll be able to protect the president.
But, yeah. Yeah, the president never cooperates. It's way easier looking than done. And, yeah, exactly, Jesse. It's one of those things that, like, why didn't we think of it before, you know? 113. Amazing, amazing untied. And, you know, Flicker Form, like, you know, he's a capable player. But I think it'd be fair to describe Flicker Form as more of, say, a journeyman. You know, he's a guy who's been around, one of not many guys who has been around in the pre-Twitch era. 2012 and earlier, you know? And he's still only ranked 20th in the game, right? He's not a superstar player by any means. That's, you know, why I describe maybe as a journeyman. And so to get an untied like this is obviously very cool. And even cooler would be maybe to go for the untied sweep, right? You know, imagine, you know, untied sweeps are something that you usually would say only for, reserved for, you know, like a top, absolute top player, right? So, yeah. But hey, Flicker Form went for it. Let's see what his comment on 113 says. 4 to 5 untied world records on crash site. One of the most dramatic grinds of my life start to finish. Bike mine flick strat, which I proved to save time and popularized. 9 dupes, including a 113.98 rounded up. Was the 3rd oldest world record in Perfect Dark. Wow, that is actually quite interesting and significant. I always like these stories of, like, oldest record and stuff. I know some people don't think they're as cool, but, like, to me, they're very, very interesting. Longest standing. Wow, it's now the 9th all-time. A couple have passed it since, but yeah, that's crazy. Unbelievable. So a very significant record that was finally improved. Flicker would then go and grind for Special Agent 124 with this new technique. There it is. Chuck the mine. The way the bike bounces around is like really random. Like it could go any angle you want, you know. Like you don't want as well. The difference on special agents, you have to go pick up that president scanner. That's the additional objective, and so that costs you about 11 seconds. Usually, the two records are improved hand in hand. Like, someone will improve Agent 1 second, then they'll cut 1 second off of Special Agents. Both Funky Buddha and Cedric did that when they got the 115, 126, 114, 125. Shuts the mine. Oh, there was actually a 120. Not exactly. Yeah, not exactly. We'll clarify all that in the in the crash site speed lore when we get to that. But that's the general gist of it. We're overlooking MW's 125 one time.
Elvis, he'll be able to protect the president.
It's a good joke, B-Down. It's a good joke in the context. This is the president you have to rescue. Who would be the fastest to run to the ending? It's a good joke. But yeah, of course. 124 by Flicker Form. And hey, he got the Untied Sweep. Pretty epic. 26th player to achieve an Untied Sweep. The last being Mouser on Mr. Blonde's Revenge in 2015. That only lasted a day in all the chaos of the of that strat that I described as we started this episode. Flicker would also go on to untie both the LTK and DLTK records, which is insane. No one has really done that. Only Ace, Boss, and Alu have ever done that. So Flicker was excited. He made a post about all the Untied Sweeps. Eluded on Aztec, Boss did it multiple times. Ace did on Pelagic too. So this is Untied Sweep, Agent, Special, and Perfect Agent, but also LTK and DLTK as well. The perfect sweep. And yeah, he's the first look. People would get Untied Sweeps back in the day, but you know, not since. You know what? You left out Clemens' Aztec sweep in this post, Flicker. I'm noticing that now. Clemens untied Aztec in November 2015. You got to go back and edit your post, but there we go. So let's watch. Oh, Clemens got rest. That's so bizarre. That's a complete anomaly. That's right. Clemens got an Untied Sweep in Perfect Dark before we ever got one in Goldeneye. So that's just a crazy tidbit as well. Let's watch Flicker's Crash Site Dark LTK 145. It was actually 146 that got the, was it 146 that got the 5 out of 5 sweep? But he got 145, so let's just watch the 145. I mean, that's a very impressive time for DLTK, given that the Perfect Agent time is 140. I'm curious to see how this works.
Agent Doc, please report.
148. Cool, 148.
Agent Dark reporting in.
So he's watching way more cutscene than previously. He's not going to use a mine for the bike here. Yes, that makes sense. The patrolling guards are pretty troll. One shot and he's passed away. Pretty insane. Takes a little bit more time setting that up, understandable.
You'll never see them now.
Oh, good disarm. I'm curious how he is gonna eliminate the presidential clone. I guess a mine does it, but like on DLTK you would think it would take more than just one mine, you know? This is kind of new tech to go on this side of the rock, and like it gets the president to run to the end, which is cool. That used to be a very mystical piece of this level. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Again, one hit and he would have passed away. So now you go in high res, which will clip you through the cave. You normally could not drive here. Through here. You can't drive through here, but he clips through because he's in high res. The game is very lag. Very laggy. Yeah, it's very inconsistent. I've never pulled it off, in fact. And then you clip through the whole level. Now you're out of bounds. So one mine does eliminate the presidential clone, I should say. And then you use this insane weapon. You're gonna shoot the UFO out at the end here. And he's kind of out of bounds, strafing towards the UFO. He spotted the texture, and boom! Unbelievable. I used to really like this level before the out of bounds clip. I almost got the record on it back in the day. Probably, like I said, my favorite Perfect Dark level.
How are you feeling, Mr.
But there we go.
President?
Flicker has mastered the level and really optimized a 5 out of 5 untied sweep on the stage. Very impressive. 145 DLTK's epic. Very epic. Very nicely done. Is it the last we'll see of Crash Site? Perhaps, perhaps not. So the next untied is another newer bloke, JD Black. I feel like JD's been around since like 2018-ish, maybe even earlier, but he's still like new in the context of being a good player who's getting untieds. He actually got an untied in GoldenEye. We showed that in the in the GoldenEye SpeedLore year in review. So JD Black's epic. He was going for investigation 102. The world record was 103. It was getting tied by like 8 people, and he wanted 102. I guess the trick here was that I made a video of this back in 2018. You can get the bot if you pause and take out the cam spy. You can get the cleaning bot to zoom really fast. And so no one ever incorporated the fast zoom onto Agent. It doesn't save a ton of time on Agent. On Secret and 00, or on Special and Perfect Agent, it does save a lot of time because the bot's like going through the level and you zoom it and it saves like 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds. But on Agent, it's only zooming like past the lasers once, and so it only saves like 1 second. But still, that was a second that was probably out there if someone could incorporate it into a laser skip run. So let's see what JD pulls off here after 17 dupes of 103. Oh, I like this. I like the music off. Yeah. So you'd want to do like 2 laser skips. You basically the cleaning bot's only gonna take down 1 set of lasers at a time. So you'd want to go for 2 laser skips, but that's obviously very difficult. Best starts ever, I believe that. I mean, the run is pretty cooked. So there's the pause for the bot zoom. He zoomed the bot, and now he can get through both sets of lasers. And now he has to only skip 1 set. That's the 1 second time save. Very nice.
I gotta YOLO it.
He didn't get a zap there. If he didn't get zapped, it might have saved even a couple more tenths.
Dr. Carl has got to be nearby.
Understood.
Beautiful. He's gotta wait for this to finish hacking. Nice strafing.
I got it! I got it! I got it! I
Nice.
Holy shit! Yeah!
Yes.
It was .58, dude! It was .58 with the zap skip!
Dr. Carroll, are you
With
here?
the zap skip!
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Hello? Yes.
Dude, I knew you were gonna get it. That's why I was here, man.
Redemption.
Holy shit, man.
Fuck. Flying, man.
Finally! It's over! It's
Dude.
fucking over!
Big JD. What the
It's fucking over. Oh my
Wow.
fucking over.
Look at that shit.
You're nuts.
Oh, I'm so hyped, dude. Oh, it's fucking over. It's fucking over. Oh my.
It's true, it is a hype moment to get it untied. It always is a hype moment to get untied. Yeah, I mean, that's the rush that every speedrunner chases, really. You know, that's all there is to it. That's kind of why you speedrun to begin with. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find a zapless skip to show as an example. Yeah, so here's Ilu's old 103. He was the first to get 103 with the double laser skip. And we'll this is what it could look like. So no bot zoom, so it's like you skip this laser, zapless, and then you got zapped, and then the bot is at the next set of lasers. This was the old technique. See, now the bot's there. So that's good. That's how it used to be. But now you only need one skip. That's a huge improvement. But obviously it's like you can you can pass right through the laser if you hit it perfectly, or you can get zapped. And getting zapped like loses, like I would guess, maybe 0.2, 0.3, something like that, right? So the fact that JD got 102.58, oh, it's 0.5, holy smokes. That's insane. So yeah, obviously 101 is like almost... Okay, so yeah, JD says 0.3. I'm going to trust JD over Wexy Lever since JD has the untied. But yeah, insane. Insane run. And he references the bot zoom in his poster. He says the gold rush of November 2018 is finally complete. Definitely my favorite time ever achieved so far. Thanks everyone for the support. Special thanks to Kev for discovering this round in the first place. Absolutely. And Clem for the streams inspired me to play this and push myself on the level. Yeah, it's the November 2018 investigation gold rush was a really funny and epic time in the elite community, that's for sure. It was like one of the, maybe not the peak in community history, but like it was certainly a local peak. Like in that period of like 6 or 8 months or 12 months around that, it was a local high for the community for sure. So a good time, and yeah, this alludes to that discovery making this run possible. Way to go. On to the next. There's only 2 more stages to get to here in terms of untieds. We have a ton of other records to show, so we're not going quite anywhere yet. You know, we still have things to show, but now we're going to go on to Airbase. We showed one Airbase run, but here's some more Airbase runs. Perna is a young, new eliter. A good bloke, apparently. And he was able to get Airbase 112, which was a really good record. It was actually like a shocking record when it was first set. No one really knew it was like possible 112, you know? That's kind of what, you know, I mean, that's not the first time, we'll say, that a shocking record has been set. Ilu got it last year. A couple people tied this year, and Perna was one of the guys who decided to go for 112. And he was like really keen on the level. And he started sending Ilu all sorts of techniques and strategies. So let's actually watch Perna's 112, which he got this year. Shoutouts to Perna. You know, he didn't get any untieds this year. He's a new player, young guy. But I'm happy to include at least one Perna run in this review. Let's see. I mean, tell me more about your 45, Paracusia. Maybe you'll convince me to show it later on. Is a 19.6 door really good? Okay, we'll show it. We'll show it in the We'll show it like after the sets. Like we're gonna get into other runs later on, and we'll show it. We'll show the 45 then. Okay, so yeah, here we go. This wasn't done on Perfect Agent. You use the drug spy, and it's we saw that a lot on G5 as well. If you open up a cam spy under stairs, you can warp to the top of the stairs. So is 1960 a slow beginning or a really good beginning? It's been ages since I played Airbase. And then these lasers are trolled. It's like kind of like you have to like time your movement around the lasers. 112.7, very, very, very nice. So don't watch the whole. Nope, just watch the whole cutscene. $112 by Perna. Let's see, I want to see if he does something here. Okay, no. So now we're gonna watch. Yeah, Perna was trying a lot of different things. Yeah. So, for example, trying stuff like shooting out the console from like behind, and like playing off the lasers. And so the lasers are again sort of this arcane, mystical thing in Perfect Dark. The timing, the movement you have to make, like the way the lasers fade in and out is almost like related to where you're moving in a weird way. And so Ted made a practice ROM on EverDrive where you could practice, you could start at any point on the level, and that's huge because now you can practice the lasers over and over and over again. And this is sort of the next evolution of speedrunning. We've seen this for a while in Mario 64 with like Game Shark, timer on screen, practicing and practicing. And now it's finally coming to Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, and that's a big deal because you can really try strategies and see what works and what doesn't work, you know? Well, it's kind of like an interesting, how do you put it, Beatdown? Like, Perna worked hard to figure out strategies and techniques, but of course Ilu is, you know, the more experienced, more veteran player, you know? So, of course, it's like, Perna can only carry the torch so much of the way. And there might come a point when he has to pass on the torch to another player to take his vision to the fullest extent. So this is like, I think this was a Lake Demon run, I believe. And he, like, kind of bumps into the laser at the end. They call it, like, a double laser skip. But I don't really see it as a skip. He's kind of just, like, banging into the lasers and it works out. You got a 113 this way. Unless I'm missing, I don't think I'm missing anything there, am I? Like, it just looks to me like he just kind of bangs into those two lasers. But it's really fussy. Like, I can't even describe how fussy it is unless you play it yourself. And all of that wouldn't even be the full key that unlocked Airbase Agent 111. I guess Perna told Ilu to get an EverDrive and to... Ilu didn't know that he needed an SD card for his EverDrive, but Ilu and Perna really grinded it hard. And so Ilu went out there on November 19, 2020, and he would get this speedrun. Hardest trick in the game, some people argue. Wow. No, that's what I'm saying, Beatdown. It's like, of course, it wouldn't have happened without Perna, but like Perna could only carry that torch so far, right? He knew what to do for 111, but like he couldn't quite nab it. He had to. It's a respectful thing to pass the torch to someone else. You see? And so he played around, passed it to Alu. So there is an interesting key here. So you blow that up with the glass. You get that. And then, with all sorts of trickery, you detonate, you make an explosion which gives you a really good leg warp into the lift. And that is the fastest lift entry, and like that is the final. There might have been like 3 or 4 keyholes you have to unlock for 111, and that was the last one that had to be unlocked. That epic warp into the lift. His resting heart rate started. Yeah, Ilu is, of course, we know him from the Aztec Speedlores. He's kind of a character. And, yeah. He often talks about his resting heart rate and about how he prefers soda with lower carbonation, I believe. Really nice shots. It seemed like he spent less time lining that up after the pause than... Like, he started running faster after shooting it out. 111.80. Unbelievable. Like, on Perna's run, he shoots out the screen, which is needed to start fussing up the lasers. And Perna's, like, almost frozen there for, like, a frame or two, whereas Lou just starts running right away. I could kind of pick up on that. Ilu did grind for a long time for this run, yeah. Quite some time. 111. It's amazing. It's amazing that Ilu still has it. You know, we're all getting old. I'm getting old. You're getting old. Ilu's like gotta be 36, 37 years old by now. Like he's getting up there. And still he still has it, you know? He still has it. That's pretty inspiring. That's quite inspiring. Yeah, I agree. Airbase Perfect Agent. Okay, I think Airbase Perfect Agent is like the damn 00 Agent equivalent. And so I think all it needs is like a boost of interest and passion for people to really go hard on it and make it happen. You know? Okay, with all the new techniques and knowledge used, Ilu would also go to play Special Agent. The record was 141 by Green, Ilu, Ace, and actually Perna did get in on it and get 141 in December 2020. But Ilu was going for 140 this whole time as well. It was kind of an aside. One of, I think, the most iconic music videos in Perfect Dark history is this Airbase Special Agent 142 by Clem, where he uses the song Zombie by the Cranberries. Unbelievable video. Like, obviously this song is like very meaningful, very powerful, far more meaningful than just to be used in as the soundtrack to a video game, of course. But it's like such an iconic run and song use. And Perna actually used the same song in one of his Airbase runs this year with permission from Clem. So that's kind of a cool homage to that moment. So Ilu chucks the
Secure the perimeter.
Yeah, usually you would use your cam spy to open that door. But he comes here, and bingo bango. And now he's there we go. Bingo, beautiful, beautiful. or on, you know, an agent, you use that camp spot, use a trick. He didn't quite use those tricks here on special agent, but now he's in. He's got a good pace. Yeah, he got the missed door press. It's pretty insane, that missed door press. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, that is exactly. That could be. Oh yeah, that's right, Jake. You don't have the camp spy on special agent because it gets dropped off with the case with all your other equipment. It makes it a bit more of a challenge. So you cannot do that boosting yourself with the leg spike into the elevator. But yeah, I mean, or Paracusi said earlier, like, Perna might not have the mental fortitude for Untides. It's very possible. It takes a while to evolve as a player and drill. Experience cannot be replaced. I mean, Perna is a very good, promising player, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him over the years. And he just simply got beat to 2 Untides by Alu here in 2020 on Airbase. But who knows what the future might behold for young Perna. Wow, interesting, Cal. 140 special agent. Elu's vids are super long, like he leaves on the credits and stuff. It's pretty epic. He's Elu, what can you say? Okay, there is only one more Untied to show this year. I mean, I guess unless someone's hoarding or something, who knows? There would be a bit of a rivalry back and forth on Crash Site with Flicker Form and another guy who goes by Neil, even though I think it's spelled Nile, but he knows more than, of course, you know your own name better than other people. Neil. He goes Sam Fisher Neil. Sam Fisher is the protagonist in Splinter Cell, is it? Yeah, Neil. Okay. He's good. Neil would go out there and, getting the timeline straight, Neil would tie Flicker's 113 agent, tie Flicker's 124 special agent, tie Flicker's 140 perfect agent, basically tying the entire Untied sweep. Yeah, that's a bit painful. I can relate to having your Untieds tied. It feels bad. It does feel bad. 100%. No doubt about that. You know, you want your babies to kind of grow up and live on forever and become the LSU, become the best record ever, right? So, unfortunately, that wouldn't happen for Flicker because Neil was on the case. You like that pun? Okay. Neil would keep playing. Neil streamed almost all of his 140 and 139 attempts and was super chill. On December 11th, 2020, Neil would get this run. Well, it'll basically be the same strategy as the DLTK run of Flicker, but like more optimized and clean because it's not DLTK. You know.
There's the escape pod.
Well, it's Neil Sam Fisher Case himself in chat. Unbelievable. Is it Neil? Neil? Because like I see it, I think Nile as your name. You know.
How sick would it be to headshot all 3 guys in a row? I was aiming a little high there, but it is possible.
Pronounce Neil. Oh, he almost quit out.
Oh my god. Why do I have to... Why?
You'll never see. Even now.
Nice punch.
It's the stupidest run in the world. Where's K7 guard? We got down there quick.
You run to this point on the rock, and it's actually, like, you could bleed time there very easily. Because it doesn't look like you're kind of like timing your movement to that rock in symphony with the president's movement.
Too slow.
If you get there too early, it's not going to like jive. The president won't see you there, so he won't be tracked to that position. But it's definitely somewhere that you can leak a lot of time. And so he hits the warp through the cave, He's gonna come up here, clip out of bounds.
129.31. How am I getting this strategy doing this extra little pause there? I think it's helping a lot. Yeah, don't you think so, Clem? Like I just switched to it today, but like I'm doing like when I pause for the mine throw, I unpause and just right strafe for a split second, and then pause again, and then I switch to keyboard and go left strafe. It seems to be like way better, way more fluid motion. Makes the final left turn a little harder, but
He's through. He's detonated the president. He just needs a shot. That was insane.
I don't know. I didn't see the decimal. Yes! Yeah! Yeah! Yes! 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 My first motherfucking untied. Yes! Yes!
He's pretty pumped. Who wouldn't be pumped with Crash Site Perfect Agent 139? An amazing record. Yeah, he's been a grinder. He's been a real grinder, and he's an interesting character. Like, obviously in every community, I think the Elite is very well tight knit for sure, right? But many communities, you have splinter groups. Groups will move off and kind of have their own core friends, and that's fine. That's cool. Sometimes it can be messed up, and you have rivaling factions. It's not healthy. The Elite's pretty good, but there are these small pockets and small groups. I feel like Neil isn't in any of them. He's kind of like a lone madman, I just know he talks to Clemens a lot, and like that's kind of it, So it's cool to see the lone wolf in the Arctic North go in there and let loose and get an epic untied world record. So pretty cool stuff from Neil. Very nicely done. And Neil's friends with all. There you go. So those are the untieds in 2020. Now, the episode's not done yet. We have a lot of other kind of bonus cool runs to show. But these are all the untieds set in 2020. I mean, 39 untieds for 53 seconds cut on the rankings. From 126.57 or 58 to 126.05. Will we see 125 total time in 2021? I think there's a good chance we do. Just going back in time, 127 happened in 2017. 128 happened in 2016. 130 and 129 happened in 2015. Largely thanks to the Mr. Blonde's Revenge. That year was insane. I mean, as a teaser for when we get to Mr. Blonde's Revenge Speedlore, good luck. I'm gonna need 100 streams. 2014, the game was almost dead. Only 3 untieds. The first untied was in September. That's really, really crazy. So, it's epic to see the game healthy and thriving once again. And, as we glance through the rankings, obviously Ace did a ton of damage. What levels didn't we see? We didn't see any defection. No one tons in defection. We got 1 on Invest JD. Ace got a couple insane ones on Extraction. Wow, that one's from 2019, eh? Crazy. Villa, he got a couple untieds and a PA. Chicago, Jory's got 25. We're starting to see 25 Special Agent pile up the ties. 16 ties now. That might be the most of, aside from Defection 5. Might be the most, that's cool. And, everything else I think we saw, right? G5, Infill, Rescue, Escape, Air Pace. Oh, no Air Force 1 untieds. But that's a cool epic level, so that's really, that's legit. Oh yeah, and no defense on tides, but we will, or actually attack ship, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, Oh, yeah, I guess mine SOS. Okay, I guess there were a few levels where no Untieds happened. But yeah, so all in all, a really, really epic year. And awesome stuff from everyone who played Perfect Dark this year on the Untieds. Great job, everyone. But yeah, we have more to show, and let's carry on and get to that. So, obviously there was some cool stuff that happened that wasn't Untieds. Some cool speedruns, and I'm going to show a handful of them here. Obviously there's so much more that I can't get to everything, but I want to show at least a little bit of this stuff. So, Paracusia's in chat tonight. He is pretty good at Perfect Dark, certainly at some levels in Perfect Dark so far. Many might know him as a Mario 64 runner. I checked before the stream, he's 11th in 120 star. 11th place. A 140.06, I believe. Very close to the fabled 139. Maybe 2021's the year for 139 for Paracusia. He's especially good at Pelagic 2. Remember we saw Ace dominate? He's especially good at the buttons. Let's watch him nail the buttons on Pelagic 2.
You go on ahead.
Activate the alarm!
They'll be unable to conduct operations
Whoa.
without any.
Watch his fingers.
They'll be unable to conduct
Wow.
operations without any.
Very epic. Hey, Paracusia, is the song in your 37 your own song? Because I'm going to show your 37. If it's your own song, it's not like a copyright on YouTube, I can show it with the music. If it's not your own song, then I'll play the raw version, you know, but it is what it is. Okay, it's not Para's song, that's okay. We're going to show the raw version, and it's a good run. So, of course, believe it or not, Ace had the Untied sweep on Pelagic 2, and it would not be Boss or Clem or Carl or anyone like that slaying the Untied sweep. It was indeed Paracusia nailing the insane run, a mere 37 seconds. It's insane that you can beat this level that fast.
GPS. Ship will wander off station.
You know, back in my day, the record here was like 46 or something. You know?
Pull the plug on that. Now! Pull the plug on that. Now!
So you got good speech skips here. I mean, the buttons is really where he wins a lot of time. And you can imagine it would be insane, but like you could incorporate those buttons onto Perfect or Special Agent. Oh yeah, then you had a warp here. This was found in the past like 5 years maybe. Instead of kind of going the long way around the level, you warp through here and you get to the kind of unspawn loading zone.
Follow me. Let's get off this old tub.
So yeah, 35 is believed to be possible. Would be insane, but 37 is the record as is in Ace Paracusia time. Pretty remarkable stuff. Wow. Will Ace take revenge and go for 36? I guess we'll see. Let's look at those buttons once more, just for fun.
They'll be unable to conduct operations without any.
Wow. Yeah, it's really crazy when you think, like, obviously Ace's buttons on his SA and PA records were not bad, but they weren't that, you know. Ace actually made a really useful post about how all the tricks that were found this year, some of them are small, not that insane, but some of them help a lot, right? So he says, you know, there's a new glass warp on Defection, Extraction Bodyguards, you know, Villa, the basement clip, you know, Chicago Bomb Spy Warp. I think what that is on Chicago, you're like in the grate, and you can warp up it like you do up the stairs on G5 or Airbase, like we saw, right? I think that's what that is, bomb spy warp. But I don't think anyone's like incorporated that into a record yet, so that's kind of interesting. That might be something we see soon, the bomb spy warp. The G5 lures, those were cool. We went over those in quite some depth. Yeah, reverse John push, early med pack, a whole. Very hard is a vast underestimation. Wow, that's crazy. So you're saying it's like almost impossible. That's pretty insane. A Wexy lever. Yeah, a whole bunch of. I mean, we could go over them forever. So a lot of stuff there. Okay. All that being said, I wanted to do something kind of cool and make like a compilation video of some Untieds. And I did make it. And, it's not like insane, but it's cool. I'm going to show it here in a second. 2020 was an interesting year. And as much as I do enjoy this stream being a time of like stepping away from the world, getting into gaming, some things, of course, leak in every now and then. It's impossible not to. And so in 2020, I think a lot of us spent time watching numbers go up, right? And so there was this one stream that I would watch. I think we've probably all seen it on YouTube, the stream Roy Lab Stats. And I would watch it, like, especially with Boss and a couple other guys, and we'd watch the numbers go up every day. And the Roy Lab Stats stream is really interesting because it's like, it is dark because you're seeing the numbers are real people whose real lives are being affected, getting sick, passing away. But the guy running the stream always has this kind of like epic music going on, which made it really, like Cal says, doom scrolling. It's like really like kind of like epic, like you're watching these very real numbers go up affecting people, and it has like this kind of almost like Matrix sci-fi music going on. And it's kind of like surreal. But there was one song which was like our favorite. And Boss suggested I use that song in this year in review compilation. It's pretty wild. This is a 6.5 minute video. It's going to show a lot of clips that we just watched. A lot of amazing records and kind of cool pieces, bits and pieces. And yeah, so without further ado, let's just take a look. It starts right away, so brace yourselves. It's pretty insane. I think it's pretty insane. So here we go.
Trigger the alarm.
Combat operations unit.
Hi there.
Hey,
The keys will get stopped.
You shouldn't have come here, girl.
I don't know if it's base. I gotta YOLO it.
I'll get the wind generator back online. I'll get power for the lower basement. Must be holding Daniel.
Oh my god! Oh my god, I got it. I got an untied world record, holy fuck.
I don't know, I didn't see the decimal. Yes! Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Fuck yes!
I got it! I got it! I got it! I got it!
Nice.
Holy
shit!
Yeah!
Yes!
It was 0.58, dude! It was 0.58! Where's the napkin?
Okay, Joanna, take a look at this.
Hey,
Closing in on my position.
Agent Dark, over here.
There you are. I was beginning to wonder if you've been discovered yet. And frankly, if this is how you work, I'm amazed that you lasted longer than 5 minutes.
I was tidying up one of your loose ends.
My loose ends.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you wanted him to shoot you. I can call in some more guards if you like.
Okay, forget about it. I'm going to let the Institute know we've made contact.
We suspect this Spy Corporation is just a front for Datadyne and whoever else is involved in this plot.
How's it going? We have an intruder. I don't want this trouble.
Secure the equipment with a storm vein.
Understood.
The car park is your only point of ingress.
Indeed, one more untied to be revealed. Chicago Special Agent 24 Seconds by the Big Boss Man. Yep, it's true. It happened. Insane. He decided to go for the Cam Spy warp up the grate, which just minutes ago Zella was saying very hard was an understatement. So yeah, it's inconsistent, but you can warp up the grate using the camp spy just like you do on G5 or Airbase. And he nailed the 24 seconds untied world record on Chicago's Special Agent. Yeah, I mean, the long and short of it might be that, you know, maybe a bigger horde was, you know, theorized, conceived, that didn't end up panning out, and the boss was stuck with these 2 hoarded times, and he was like, well, what do I do with them, you know? And, yeah, it took some convincing, but I eventually told him, like, you know what, let's do it in the year in review lore. And so yeah, that is what it is. Boss actually sent me a whole bunch of information about this run, just so he had something to say. Boss is asleep. He says the start is the exact same as always. He says at 7 seconds he pauses to manipulate the leg spike before picking up the mines, so that's important. It's a leggy level, and you know, pausing is found a way to kind of let the leg play out on the explosions, so that's a big deal. That was a bit of a fine for him. Then he does a quick pause for the bomb spy release. He says you want the angle such that the bomb spy won't hit the blue wall on the right, but it also won't be seen by the guards too soon. Says you can right strafe the bomb spy the whole time if done right. And then yeah, he does this whole, you pick up the mines. Super important where you pause. You don't want to be left strafing along the right wall. You want to be kind of out a little bit, looks like. And then you pause, and hey, you move the bomb spy a little bit, and it climbs you up the wall. Pretty insane stuff. Nails it. It warps him right up, and then he's got to clutch. He says you don't have full speed for the mine throw, quite like you would in the past, which is a big deal. Oh yeah. Insane, the 24. He actually says he went for 25 perfect agent, and he got 26, but then he got bored, and he moved on. And he thinks 23 and 24 are possible, so yeah, pretty insane. Really, 24 perfect agent might be possible pretty soon, so he seems keen on that, and yeah, he wishes good luck to all future Chicago SAPA players. Wow. Unbelievable. The boss, Chicago Special Agent 24. Yep. He can't update the rankings till like tomorrow after work, he said. So, yeah. But he'll get to that as soon as he can. Yeah, that was, I guess, the big surprise for the night. So, pretty epic stuff. I have, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9 more runs to show. We'll show 9 runs. We'll get through it, and we'll call it from there, right? So amazing stuff. I'm glad chat was happy and epic at that time. Can you have a minute? I mean, I've been like giving you a minute. The next bit is like dual 0 is the next run. So dual 0 is not a big deal. You can take a breath. You can collect yourself. It's all good. So there we go. Yeah, okay. So the next thing I'm going to show, to switch things up and bring it back into the more kind of casual cool down zone of the night, is dual 0. So duel is a training exercise. It's not really a level in the game as far as I know. Now, the record on it is 3 seconds. You turn and you shoot in a duel. However, MW went and solved the old circuit board strategy. A strategy where if you press down on the raw circuitry of the second controller, it can freeze the timer. MW went out there and, for fun, not for being a cheating, troll, for fun, wanted to figure out how it worked. It's interesting. And he went and gets the shot, pauses, and then presses down the second controller, which freezes the internal timer of the game, but objectives play out. And so he was able to get dual 0 this way. And he says it saves into your cart as 1 second, which is interesting. So it doesn't actually save as 0, it saves as 1. That's kind of interesting. And yeah, it's cool how he went out and figured it. He said the exact method was unknown to basically everybody. Sam decided to try to figure it out on his own, and they figured it out. That's really cool. So way to go to MW and Sam, and figuring out the crazy circuit board strategy. What does he say about... He says in other games, and then it has different effects on different games. Kind of interesting. So that's cool. That's cool. Next thing I'm going to show is this Chicago Agent 15 by Expert Gamer. So in the GoldenEye lore episode, I talked about how he had like 18 or 19 years between PBs. Damn 54, 53. On Perfect Dark, though, he had almost 20 years between PBs. Between Chicago 15 and 16. 16 would have been like a world record. He got it untied. He set the untied in 2000. And now he's come back for a 15, 20 years later. So we'll watch that. That's pretty cool. Expert Gamer's a good bloke. Yeah, I don't know, Peace Love. I don't know exactly what tells it yes or no. So this is Chicago Agent. A 14 is the record. It's a 4-way tie. It's a really good tie, too. Insane. Objective 2 completed. Very nicely played. He gets his, There we go. He gets his, Chicago 15. Very nice. Nicely done. Okay. Now I'm going to show a couple more records. So Ricky the Rixer played G5. Ricky the Rixer had a great year, all in all. I think I mentioned yesterday, he's killed it on YouTube, doing a great job. He is playing G5. He had 33 seconds. He's even going for... He tried a bit for 32. He didn't quite manage 32, but I want to show at least one of his 33s. Just to acknowledge that he had a pretty good year as well. And I think he's actually doing the other lure strategy, not the one that we saw Ace do. I believe. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So he's using that lure strategy. And I think that is a little bit faster, and that's why he was going for 32. There we go. Jumps down. I mean, who knows? Maybe he eventually moved on from 32. It's a hell of a grind. But maybe 32 is on the docket for 2021. Hard to believe it's 2021. Yeah, this is such a technical level, like so much pause and unpause. It's not like the pause and unpauses on this level aren't like annoying in the same way they might be on some other levels. They're all like for a technical purpose, moving the camps by a little bit ahead each time. 29 pickup. His capture quality is so good too. Oh, he almost got stuck there. Man, 33-8. Yeah, much less consistent. It takes like hours sometimes to get one successful lure like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool that he went for that lure and nailed it. Yeah, very cool lure. Then I just asked, I basically had Zella write in the topic, in the thread, about his, like, tell me something about the year. And he opted to, like a nice friend he is, he said, show these 4 runs that are my favorite runs achieved during Fantasy League. And I guess Fantasy League is not something we've really gotten into that deeply yet. But basically in the summertime, and we've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years now, the guys will assemble into teams, 4 or 5 people, maybe 6 people, and however many points you get on the rankings for a new time, you get that many points in Fantasy League. And there's some like daily bonuses, weekly bonuses, that kind of thing, and you just kind of add them up on a spreadsheet, and it's just a bonus way of competing with one another throughout the year. And so these are some times that stuck out to Wexy Lever from Fantasy League. This guy is Randy C. Randy Bobandy with Defection 5. Always a cool time. Oh, that back strafing was neat. Defection 5. There you go. By Randy Bobandy. Yeah, he really did. You know, Randy, believe it or not, Randy Bobandy was one of my go-to Fortnite players. We would play a lot of Fortnite back in 2018. We had a good time playing Fortnite. And he got Chicago. He actually just got Chicago SA 25, which is no longer a record. And he got some other very decent times throughout the year. So a great year for Randy Bobandy. Yeah, I think he's top 20, like legit, which is pretty insane. 15th. Wow. He's past Greg K. That's really impressive. So he's climbing hard. He's climbing the ranks. Zella also wanted me to show, is it Lake Demons Deep Sea Perfect Agent 302? So this would have been a record when it was set before of course, before Zella himself would lower this. This was nice. I believe that like world records get an extra bonus in the Fantasy League. So it's kind of an interesting balance. It's like, and it's taken a few years to get the balance right, but it's like, for example, do you want to pick a person on your team who has no PBs and so has a blank slate and can get a lot of points? Or do you want to pick someone who has a lot of PBs already but might get some world records? And so, yeah, Cal, that's that was like the final straw for Boss to be like, okay, I have to unhoard. Like, Boss was kind of like holding on to it, and so once Taka got the 25, Boss was like, oh man, I feel terrible. I got a hoard. He was willing to hoard longer, you know. But I told him, you know, I think Taka respects you, Boss, and is going to not mind that much. I think. I mean, what is funny or interesting is I was imagining, what if the guys in Amalgamates had either like Infill 110 or Chicago 24 or Chicago 25s? Maybe that's happened. And so maybe the guys in Amalgamates are like having to edit out like this Chicago 25 segment, right? Like, yeah, what if they did it? It's kind of, yeah, so there is a horde coming in like a week. Maybe Boss's 24 has trolled the amount. Maybe not, but maybe. I could definitely see 25 SA being like a common time in Amalgamates. So, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, Zella said about this run specifically that is what inspired him to start playing for 302. And we can see that was a different shot style from what Zella was doing. Zella like backed up and did one of the canisters from outside of the room. So that's obviously a strat that Zella has improved upon. I'm sure someone in chat will fill you in, Yuppie. I don't know exactly where Amalgamates will be aired. Yeah, I mean... Oh, on The Elite Gaming. Okay, The Elite Gaming on January 30th, is it? I think you guys could maybe piece it together now that, like, you know, I was playing Damn 00 in, like, May and June. You know, this may have been, like, the theoretical horde with Boss that was, like, you know, didn't really come to complete fruition, but, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, he got some times, so that's pretty epic, but I was not so lucky. Sometimes it's hard. Hoarding's hard, especially when you've been playing for 15 or 20 years, you know? It's hard to keep getting new times. Ooh, very nice run by Lake Demon here. You know what, Wesley Lever? He is gonna appreciate that because he was worried what chat and everyone was gonna say. You know, he was worried about a reaction like the Mario Kart reaction. And I told him, you know what, man? We're not like that in GoldenEye Perfect Dark. You know, so I think the reaction's gonna be pretty good. Yeah, there you go. It's inspired Luke, even. This is like if Tupac was still alive. Yeah. Insane. I told him that, but like Boss always like worries about the worst, right? So here's another time Zella suggested it's Crash Site Agent 114 by Mathieu de Carafel. This was the world record before Flicker untied it. A big score for his team in the Fantasy League, so that's very nice.
She's mine.
There's the escape pod.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, how many 114s ended up happening? Let's see. Oh, it was a lot. It got to like 12. 12, yeah, insane. Well, it's true, Alka, because he's played for 20 years using the old strats, right? So it's not like that thrilling anymore. Ooh, he kind of bonked the Prez. I wonder if that could have been 113 if he had a better Prez push. That was very interesting by Mathieu de Carafel there. Mathieu de Carafel. Félicitations. Very nice. Yeah, then Zella said something about his own Rescue 125, his oldest non-Chicago 15 PR, and his favorite music vid. I can't show the music vid though, unfortunately, so we'll just, you know, he's Zella, he's the star of the year other than Ace. We'll watch his 125. Then we're gonna watch Paracusia's Defense 45, and then we're gonna watch one more run. Then there's one more run to close the year with. Yeah, so what was the meme with the turnips? Oh, and Cal, he has 25 PA. Or 26 PA. He has... No. It's like a silly run flicker to close. I don't know if he has a video of his 26 PA, though, so... Oh, we had to turn and punch there. Cool bug facts. Damn. Yeah, but where did turnip come from? Like, a turnip is such like a random thing. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Boss ends up playing more. He might. We'll see. Who knows what 2021 has in store? You know? Oh, they're the stock market in Animal Cross. Okay, there we go. I see. Team Turnip. Oh, I see. Oh, man, it didn't sound like he got the keycard there, but I guess he did. So BK was, like, selling turnips to gain stuff in Animal Crossing. In a way, I'm kind of like... I kind of wish I played Animal Crossing. I didn't end up buying it, but it's okay. I'm gonna play Pokemon Snap, right? So... That's interesting, Wexy Lever. Wow, that's crazy. We'll take a look at the rankings there. 125. Very nice rescue time. I mean, you know this goes back when it's Zella's second oldest PB. You know, from, 8 months ago. 125. Very nice. Lost no points. Only Lake Demon, Carl, Clem, and Ace have lower. So we're going to watch this Defense 45 by Paracuzia. He really seemed to say it was an epic run, and I think it probably is. He says he had 88 46 dupes, and he had 16 45 roundups. He says that the grind pushed his patience and mental and physical endurance to their limits. I felt like every single run I would get unlucky in some way or another. Getting blocked by the 2 firing range guards, getting backed 5 times in a row in combat boost. This somehow didn't round up, even though a lot of other runs of these decimals did round up. Super happy, liberated, and there, switching to SM64. Epic. I mean, it's kind of insane that a 139 capable, 120 star player has this challenge to go for Defense 45. It shows you how insane these records are in Perfect Dark. It really shows you how insane they are. Let's take a look.
We can't keep the main delegation waiting. Or the president, of course.
Am I ready? What do you mean? I was ready half an hour ago. It was you holding us up.
But you know how it is, Joanna. I had to make sure my hair was just right. And then there was the suit.
They should keep you away from mirrors. Nervous?
Open the door. Get in the elevator.
Get up to the offices and save them.
Affirmative.
I'm interested to see how this is different than the 45s that I'm somewhat familiar with. So there's 2 shots, and then he curves around, and then you want to get the Devastator. You shoot it over the ceiling here. This is all... I believe this is all perfectly legitimate. I believe so. Then, don't you warp through... I think that boost through is kind of new.
My gun!
So this is what Foster was
You
working
grab the RCP-120. That is most certainly new. Okay. That's a cool strat. I don't think that's new, but that's like a good strat to break the glass. Oh, that's got to be new, right? The ceiling boost. I've not seen that yet. Ooh, that's good. That's a nice. That's like a Streets Agent inspired boost. Why did you still have high res on at that point? For any reason? Holy smoke, that was like a fast upload, it felt like.
Well done, Joanna.
Oh, that is so fascinating. That is insane. I had no idea that's true. That's crazy. Yes, yeah, Peace. Okay, the boost that makes Streets 111 possible was the wall boost that does 0 damage. So, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. 0.95 ending. You pause here to let the explosion play out so it doesn't lag as much. Oh, cinema ending. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it probably did. It probably did. Yeah, 95 last decimal. And it didn't round up. Was this the first time you switched to cinema at the end? It does sound like a myth, but who knows? Very interesting. So way to go, Paracusia. Definitely an epic year in Perfect Dark for Paracusia as well, and it's cool to have Paracusia around. You know, it's cool to have a good speedrunner of an game like Mario 64 involved in the community in Perfect Dark. Because some people who play Mario 64 or watch it might think, oh, that's so much harder than GoldenEye Perfect Dark. But, you know, having someone around who plays both and kind of gives kind of a waterline for the skill. It's pretty epic, so pretty cool stuff to see. Okay, one final run to show. Not a horde, not an untied, not anything insane. Apparently, in the Fantasy League, there are, like I mentioned, daily and weekly bonuses, right? For this, we simply have to introduce Samo Sammy. So, Samo Sammy is a fascinating guy in that he joined the GoldenEye community and decided to go for being the best player with 0 points. The best player was 0 points. So he wanted to get 1 second off points on every level. And it was a roller coaster ride for him to get there, but he finally did it, which is like very impressive, honestly. Right? To get exactly the 100th ranked time on every level. It was long prophesized that he may attempt this on Perfect Dark as well. However, he was playing in the Fantasy League. He was the captain of his team, Oxley State. The weekly bonus was, and it was, I guess, a significant amount of points for the team that they wanted to get it. It was, get a PB on every stage of the game. Now, the problem was, on Attack Ship, you need PAL to score points. You don't, like, need it, but, like, you really kind of do need it. Elvis completes, like, 1% of the time on NTSC and, like, much more often on PAL. And the only player on his team that had PAL was Lake Demon. And Lake Demon already had really, really good Attack Ship PBs and was unlikely to be able to improve any of them easily. So this meant that in order for his team to get the weekly bonus, Samo had to break his 0 points on Perfect Dark, break the prophecy that he may go for the PTR, Pointless Time records, in Perfect Dark, and play Attack Ship mundanely for a top 100 time after have never played Attack Ship in his entire life before. Apparently this took 17 hours. It was a 17-hour stream or something like that. I might have made that, I don't know. He says, when a man is thrust upon an immoral or amoral system, he is no longer a moral agent. No longer must he conform to his own moral standard. He must simply survive. I Bing searched this quote to see if it was from anywhere. I couldn't find where it was from. I hope it's not from some strange writing of some strange character. I don't know. I hope he wrote it. But it is inspiring in a way, in the depths of hell that we hope no man must ever reach. But sometimes they must. So at the end of what we're saying, what the folklore claims to be a 17-hour stream, Samo got this run. I think he missed a scanner back there, which is like makes it less likely Elvis completes. Oh, he completed though. Yeah, he looks so mad. Like, he does not want to be playing this at all. How many points was the weekly bonus worth? Was it a significant amount? It was a lot? 300? Wow, okay. He only has one Mauler. A 2-minute Elvis. Could get a 219. Oh, the door almost closed.
First and last perfect dark points.
Well, there is a man who has vowed to never play Perfect Dark again. And honestly, it's a tough game. It is like a more ruthless game than GoldenEye, I would say. It really is. It can be so... You can die in a second. Obviously, it's the year in review. I don't really have like a million failed runs to show, like I might in a SpeedLore episode, showing, you know, oh, he came close, he lost this run due to a late death or whatever. So a tough game, as we can see by Samo's existential dread. Just he's just done. He's exasperated is the only way to put it. So, but hey, he got the bonus points for his team in the Fantasy League. Did they end up winning Fantasy League? I hope they won. I hope they won Fantasy League on the strength of this. I really do, because otherwise, you know, wouldn't have really been worth it. No, they came second. Okay, yeah, they lost to Yendis's team. That is too unfortunate. That is just too unfortunate. But hey, I think it is, yeah, all for nothing, like a great Shakespearean tragedy. I think that's the best way to wrap it up. Like Lexi Lever says there. So, well, what a fitting way to close the 2020 Perfect Dark year in review, SpeedLore. Many amazing records, moments, and cool things happened in the game this year. I mean, it's insane to think the game's 22 years old and still has such a healthy, thriving community. Especially when you consider it was really on life support only a few years ago. So, you know, and now we have more than enough to show in like a 5-hour recap SpeedLore. So that's pretty insane. Obviously, I couldn't get to everything. So, you know, my apologies if I missed your run or a run you really liked. But I'm sure more epic things will happen in 2021. And we're all mega keen to see how it plays out. So thanks for watching, my friends. Thanks for supporting the SpeedLore series on Patreon. Chatting, hanging out, all the good stuff. Stay true, my friends. Good night.